So I'm going to do high contrast, simple. One of the other guidelines is my logo's got to touch this frame in at least one opposing way. So that way they're not going to be tiny. Well, I've got this circle, so I looked around the classroom to find some sort of circular device that was big, and I found an old can. And here I go, barely tracing it. Okay, so we've got a circle that's pretty light. It doesn't quite touch, but I'll make sure parts of the logo come out and touch. If you guys want, you can also use your phone to gather information. Now I can go over this with markers and then erase the lead, but the problem is if my marker is still wet at all, I'm going to smear it all over the place. So it will not be something I can fix. Now I'm going to start talking about where do I want it dark and where do I want it light? What colors do I want? We've got markers. We've got colored pencils. We have medium Sharpies and we have thin Sharpies. We have thicker black markers. And here's some black colored pencils also. If you're coloring in a big area, I want you to use big markers. If you're doing a medium area, use medium markers. If you're doing fine areas, use fine tools. This is for outlining. I don't want to see anybody using fine things to fill big areas because that'll waste our materials. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to outline with my fine things first, but do not fill in big areas with your fine tools. All right. So I'm going to decide what I want blue and what I want black. I've decided I want to use kind of a blue and black thing. I've got my source material up here. You can use source material or not as you wish. I'll label this for myself. I'm going to do this in black. I'm going to do a white horse. I'm writing real light so I can erase it. And then I'm going to do this ring in blue. And I haven't decided which blue I like. And then I will do some black lines in here if I want to. Okay, I'm going to try to find a colored pencil, my fine tool, that's a similar color to my big marker for big areas. I know this ring is going to be blue. So I'm going to do my fine outlining first. Keep your pencils sharp because you'll get a better product. Okay. And I'm kind of outlining where I want my blue to be. All right, now I'm gonna kind of use my pencil to build up a kind of thick margin because those big areas I'm going to fill with big marker, and medium areas I fill with medium markers, and small areas like fine lines I do with fine tools. Okay, so there we go. So I'm just thickening this line up. The reason I'm thickening the line up is that when I lay my big thick marker ink in there, sometimes it's not that precise and I want it to be able to touch the blue without a problem. So I can start filling in. Once again, I'm glad I made kind of a thick blue pencil area because it would be hard for me with a thick marker to get that ink into very, very fine places. It's kind of fun to try to overlap it in a neat and tidy way if you can. It's nice. It's a nice touch. It's what we call a nice touch. I've got that little edge. If I'm careful with my chisel tip, I can hold my marker lightly and I don't abuse it. Don't smash it down, guys, because it'll ruin it forever. Okay, and you can use your chisel tip. Don't be afraid to turn your project as needed. Okay, I've got my chisel tip. And I can always come back in with colored pencil and do those edges. I'm noticing that blue's too light. I would come talk to the teacher because I have a ton of colored pencils and I can probably get really close to that color if you need it. I found a better pencil. The really good ones that have good color are called Prismacolors. You can always come ask the teacher for those Prismacolors. See how much nicer that is? I can really get in there and tidy that up. Sometimes it's kind of a thing that's up to how you feel, how the tool feels. This is really fine. I'm kind of struggling with it because it is so fine. I think I'm going to go up one. Yeah, I think I'm going to like that better. This is a medium-sized Sharpie. I like that a lot better for what I'm doing. That fine one was so skinny. Now I'm going to do a big area, so I'm going to go to a big marker. I've got to watch out because it's easy to think you're going to do a lot of skinny lines and it's going to be a logo. But if you think of like Nike and Target logos, they don't have skinny lines. And they don't have skinny lines because they're made to be seen quickly. They're bold. So I'm taking away skinny lines and I'm making shapes. As you're doing your logo, get rid of skinny lines. We don't want little skinny lines because they're hard to see. And a logo is designed to be easy to see fast. Now I'm going to go back to my medium tip Sharpie. And we'll do the mouth. Once again, it would be easy for me to leave a skinny line here, but I don't want to do it because it makes things not as easy to see. As you're working your logo, you may want to add stuff. I'm not satisfied right here with this, so I'm going to add a little something there. Go to medium marker. Okay. And we never push down hard on our markers, or else we can just throw them away and go spend a bunch of money on some new stuff, and then we'd be hard on those and wreck those, and we go spend some more money on some new stuff. It's totally unnecessary. We don't need to push that hard that we crush the felt tip of markers. So be cognizant of your hand pressure because we like to keep our tools in good shape. What's happening is here, if I've got a line that doesn't look crisp, I'm taking my colored pencil and I'm just keeping it sharp. Make sure to put those shavings in the trash. And I'm sharpening my edges up. These colored pencils are great if you go over them back and forth a little bit. They're really nice. All right. So I'm getting here what I think is a pretty recognizable logo. I've got some messy stuff I have to erase. And my idea is, would somebody see this from far away, driving fast on a sign? Would they know it's a nice horse image? Contrast, simple, bold. Put my name, period. And I will be taking a picture of that and turning it into Google Classroom.